Alright, what's up YouTube? I'm Cordy. We're going to be doing my first place locals deck profile for traditional night, actually. Yeah, it is Zoo, but it's traditional format Zoo. A little bit something different on this channel. So I figured we'd mix it up a little bit with some traditional format deck profiles. So, 3-rep here. Pretty self-explanatory for what you're intending to play against. I think I played against Dark Lords, Heroes in the 3rd round, ABC the 4th round. Traditional ABC is pretty retarded, especially depending on the scenario in which they set up. And I don't remember round 2, unfortunately. Oh no, round 2 was against Matt O'Shea. It's not super hyper locals, but yeah. But anyway, 3-rep here, doing what Zoo does. Same thing with triple Whiptail. 2 Throwblade, and pulling something from the OCG. 1 Ram. My logic behind this was traps are a little bit more of a problem in traditional format. So if I establish Ram, we can set up to take care of some of the problems that exist. This helps me get into more of my trap cards, and Whiptail just removes problem cards. Pretty zooey for what Zoo does. 3 Terratop, 1 Talcum Borg, and 2 Max C, wrapping up the lineup. You need to not be afraid to play this card in traditional format, especially if you're against Dark World. We had a Dark World player running around. Card of Safe Return with Dark World, pretty fucking scary. Some of the combos that they can do. Also not playing Ghost Ogre. It's traditional format. Not super worried about the things they can do. Definitely should have considered drawing Lockbird for Degeneracy. But nothing too bad really came up. So, spells, triple Barrage, doing what it does. Still an insanely stupid card. If not, it eats an MST or any other form of back removal, which is definitely very good. 2 Tenki, pretty much pulling a page from Noah's original build. Especially in traditional, you're not super worried about recruitability. As long as you can somehow establish and go first, you'll be in a much better situation than you normally would be. Back row removal was so good in this format. Heavy Storm, Feathers Duster, and Twin Twister. Only 1 Twin Twister apted over MST. These 2 are insane. If you go second, you board wipe your opponent if they don't have the Road or the Judgment. It allows you to proceed with your Zoo combo, which is ridiculous. Even in traditional format, having a deck that can constantly recycle itself and go from there is extremely important. It's one of the reasons why I wish I would have played Pot of Avarice. Couldn't find one before we left, but I would definitely put in Avarice for the later that the game goes, to definitely ensure that you get just a better mid-late game. Because one of the things I feel Zoop pales for is its mid-game. Board wipes for monsters. I'm just still 1-1. Absolutely no reason to change this. Not playing the Kaijus, I'm not super worried about it. Also, Raigeki answers anything you need to. And you shouldn't have any problem getting to these. Even though the deck is 42, shouldn't be a problem. Main decking the Trinity here. This card proved to be dead. Actually, I drew this off of an Emerald after my opponent went second and had set his entire board. So this did nothing. This typically ended up getting sided out. I feel like this might be a side card. Kind of sucks if you blind this into Dark World. This card and this card were phenomenal. These cards can never come back because of just how stupid they are. Would I consider it a Pot of Desires? Maybe. The only downside to these 2 cards is if you draw Wrap here, but I mean, that just happens. Free resources can't really condemn a man for wanting to try them. Spells, 1 Book of Moon. This pretty much ended up getting sided out for traditional format. Might drop it. My logic for playing what was a chainable resource in place. I played it against any Zoo. Also being able to take care of a threat is pretty good because we didn't have ogres. 1 Instant Fusion because Norden. Monster Reborn because Norden. 1 My Body is a Shield. This card's an extreme blowout. Mere Force, Torrential, Dark Hole, anything that is really troublesome to your boards, even in traditional format. This card is a massive blowout to taking care of a lot of the problems. Traps, 1 Royal Oppression. Having my logic behind playing this was the same as Teledad back in the day. Having an established monster already on the board with oppression behind it pretty much secures the game for you. You shouldn't be losing in those scenarios. Card is massive blowout, and sure, you trade life points for it, but the resources and the paralysis that this card gives you, so good. Imperial Order, absolutely no reason with wanting to play 4 copies of Anti-Spell. We did side the 3 Anti-Spells, which we will see, but Imperial Order is a massive blowout card as well, especially pre-errata. Not being able to just turn this off at will, so good. Traps, 3 Solemn Strike. Granted, this card's not as powerful in the traditional setting. This card definitely gives you access to taking care of a lot of the problem cards. Same thing with Warning. Not playing Judgment. Half your life is too costly. These cards tend to do what you need them to do. 1 combo, just to dump it off of the wrap here. And the last 3 cards, D-Barrier. Absolutely no reason to change this either. D-Barrier is one of those cards that does exactly what I want it to do when I'm playing it. I don't know. This card's not as good in traditional format, but in the matchups that it is good against, my friend D-Barrier to Quasar player, and the Quasar player his whole deck just bricked. A lot of players were testing Quasar Turbo there. But when you have a card that just shuts off your entire deck for a turn and stagnates it, I mean, what are you gonna do? Extra deck is pretty extra decky. 1 Invoker, 1 Totem Bird, 1 Borbo, 2 Tiger, 2 Probable, 2 Dryden, 1 number 80. Actually, this card is insane against ABC. Pretty goddamn good. Being able to remove pieces. 2 Emerald for recyclability, 1 Castel, just for the troublesome cards, 1 Norden because he's Norden, and 1 Stardust Dragon because we side Starlight Road because we're good at this game. Side deck, triple Lancia. I was slightly worried in case 60 card lawn mowing decks were going to be around for the event. Having this card as an answer with card destruction legal in the format definitely helps you take care of a lot of the problems. Also, fuck Fairy Tale Snow. Card is so good. 2 Denko Sucka, not extremely important in traditional format, but if you can resolve a summon without getting Warning or Judgment, for her you can lock up boards, which traditional Paleo looks like a very scary deck as well. Another board wipe in case we need it. More Spell and Trap Destruction. I actually boarded this in pretty much every other game. Having the second copy of this to protect your already established board from board wipes definitely proved to be very important. Double Starlight Road. This got sided in maybe once. Depends on what you're playing against. If you're playing against things that involve massive board wipes, this card is really good for protection, especially in traditional. 2 Mirror Force, just a general answer to everything. Could have been something better, but Zoo does what it needs to do, so don't need the protection. Anti-Spell, this card is as powerful in traditional as it is in standard. If Dark World is a problem to you, if you need to flip this before your opponent starts their engine so you don't have to worry about it getting grafted, you're absolutely fine. Just being able to slow down all the combo decks in traditional format is also very nice. Also being able to just stunt heroes' growth for the turn also is extremely good. So that's the side. It doesn't appear as traditionally as I think a lot of people would like. No, I didn't play Snatch Steal. No, we didn't play Change of Heart. Change of Heart is good though. I would argue that it is actually as good as Mind Control for taking care of the Zoo. Mirrors, but there wasn't a lot of Zoo. Possibility of confiscation moving into the side is a yes. There was no Premature Burial either. Probably would have considered it, but Monster Reborn is just a better card. You're kind of already tight on your space in terms of things. I think that's all I'm probably missing. Oh, Excite Night. Zoo generates so much advantage that I considered putting it in when I was first looking through, and I opted not to. But you're a deck that kind of just generates so much plus, unless you get blown out by something like ABC going first with the nuts. But in most scenarios, your deck should be fine. So there's not much else to really mention there. So guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about traditional format Zoo. I know a lot of you guys are burned down on Zoo, but it's still interesting to see how the deck has evolved and how the deck will evolve in the next couple of months for traditional format. Alright guys, I'm out. Peace.
That's not all, folks. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please check out my Cardfight Vanguard channel, VanCole40. You guys will get an insight on our playtesting sessions. And please check out the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. That way you guys can follow the House of Champions and MCole40 interactions. Please check out MCole Games for all of your guys' trading card game needs. And if you guys enjoyed this content, please check out my Patreon in the description. Every bit helps to the creation of these videos. One step at a time in improvement, and that's the goal of this channel. Alright guys, have a good time, and thanks for watching.